Tonight, our David Martin tells us that Russia is sending more troops into Ukraine's Crimea Peninsula. The occupation began Friday after a popular uprising overthrew Ukraine's pro-Russian president. Most people in Crimea are ethnic Russians, so the invaders are not entirely unwelcome, but they are encountering some holdouts. Elizabeth Palmer is there.
For almost a week, Ukrainian troops have barricaded themselves into dozens of bases and military installations across Crimea and refuse to give themselves up to the Russians. At Saki Air Base near the capital, Ukrainian soldiers managed to fly 4 helicopters and 3 planes out from under the noses of the occupiers. And in the very heart of Russia's massive naval base at Sebastopol, the home of its Black Sea Fleet for more than 200 years, a handful of Ukrainian seamen are still holding out aboard the Chernobyl and the Slavitich.
Ukrainian sailors aboard those vessels tied their mattresses to the rails in order to stop any Russians who might try and board their ships. They're still flying the Ukrainian flag, and they've issued a statement that they will not give in any way to Russia.
The statement also called Vladimir Putin a barefaced liar. That's a reference to the Russian president's claim yesterday that the armed men surrounding the Ukrainian bases aren't Russian soldiers, but what he called local self-defense forces. Ukrainian Colonel Yuri Manchur knows firsthand that's just not true. On Tuesday, he led his men toward a Russian blockade in an attempt to retake an arms depot, but had to turn back when they started shooting. Today, he says, the tension has eased. The Russian troops are no longer surrounding his base, but they are still calling his cell phone occasionally, asking him to give up. By now, though, they realize our troops have remained loyal to their oath, he said, and to the Ukrainian people.
Liz Palmer is joining us now from the Crimean Peninsula. Liz, the UN sent a special envoy to Crimea earlier, and it didn't go well for him today. What can you tell us about that?
It was a strange and rather sinister incident. Robert Seri was on his way back to his car here in the capital, having visited naval headquarters, and armed men blocked him and forced a change of driver in the car. So he refused to get in and took refuge in a nearby cafe until he could have safe passage to the airport. But Scott, it's absolutely not clear who was behind this attempt to sabotage his mission.
Liz Palmer in Crimea for us tonight. Thank you, Liz.